As we take a look at the stats, Denmark, the darlings, you'll remember in Euro 2020, turning things around on the night away from home against France. These are a look. Obviously, it's just the first game. The Nations League just getting underway for the most recent campaign. But France, the holders, off to a losing start in it as we now welcome in Julien Laurent. Not the best start, we can say then, Jules, for France in their title defence of the Nations League.
No, that's right. Quite disappointing. Overall, I thought the first half was pretty even and quite average, in fairness, between the two teams. There was one spark by Kylian Mbappes. There was a couple of half chances for Denmark, but that was it. Then France were much better the first 20 minutes of that second half. Maybe it's a coincidence that Kylian Mbappes was not on the pitch by then because he got that injury that we mentioned, and Christopher Nkunku came on and had a real impact, and he combined really well with Benzema for that wonderful first goal. And then you thought, okay, France are in control here, especially at the Stade de France. And then one mistake by Koundé to lose the ball where he did. And then Theo Hernandez is not in line with the rest of the defense. And then you concede one. And then the second one came at the end for a similar mistake, again from Theo Hernandez. So we knew there were things to work on defensively, especially since Deschamps moved to a back three with the two wing backs, Coman and Theo Hernandez. But overall, it was just not good enough. It's been a bit of a tough week, of course, because on Tuesday, Didier Deschamps lost his father, so he was not on the bench tonight. But again, I think the answer and the response that he would have liked from the players was just not there tonight.
Should France be concerned in what's a World Cup year, Stevie?
No, I don't think so. No, it's, as I said in the commentary about the injuries, it's June. And had the competition been starting in July, then maybe, but they got so much time to figure it out. I think Deschamps has got a lot of time as well to figure out whether he's going to play with 3 or 4, because I think what you saw today is you need to get a defence, regardless of the opposition, that knows exactly what they're doing, that everybody's in tune. Because the 2 goals they lost were about a back line who just weren't in tune. So this will just drive home that it's so important, even though you've got some of the greatest players in the world going forward, you still have to defend. So I think that's what he should take out of this game.
You mentioned some of the greatest players in the world going forward. What a lovely goal from Karim Benzema, Ali.
Well, it's a player who is quite confident these days. Let me just tell you. His ability in tight spaces inside the 18-yard box, what we're seeing from him is that at the highest level, he is seeing a picture that is slowing down for him while it is fast for everybody else. And that is a wonderful feeling. It's like being in the Matrix. Everything is moving slow for you, fast for everybody else. Because he's seen so many clear pictures, the goals are just flowing, and they're just happening, and the combination is there, and he knows where the next pass is going to be, and he anticipates where the defender is coming from. So I'm going to cut you to the inside. And while he's doing that, taking a touch around the first defender, he's already feeling the other defender come by, fly by, cuts him to the inside as well. And then at that point I'm just going to pass it into the back of the net. That's confidence. Karim Benzema at the top of his game.
Absolutely, Jules. You have to say that for Karim Benzema is looking mighty fine once again for France.
Yeah, incredible. When you think that he's only trained twice, yesterday and the day before, because he arrived late. He joined up the group late after the Champions League final, of course. That he has played, I think I looked, 57 games or something crazy like that already this season. And yet to be able to put on a performance like this, and Ali is right, he's so high on confidence and on adrenaline and on everything positive that you can find, and you name it, then of course he wanted to start, and of course he was going to start, and of course he was going to do well. We mentioned earlier what happened in the first half, where by himself pretty much he dribbled past the whole defense of Denmark, and then there's a 1-2 with Kanté, and then he just can't hit the ball like I think he would have liked, and he's blocked by a defender. But he made things happen tonight. He scored the goals. There was more that he did. Pretty much everything good that France did was through him. His 37 goal for the national team tonight is getting closer to Michel Platini's record. He's still quite far away from Giroud and Henry, but he's getting close. And when he's in that kind of form, he's unstoppable at times.
Jules, any concerns with Mbappe's injury tonight?
We heard from some Guy Stéphane, who was on the bench today, who's Deschamps' assistant, who said that he had a pain in his knee. He didn't want to take any risk. Again, it's been a long season. Stevie is right. You know, this is June. Let's be honest here. They should not be playing 4 games now with the national team. whoever they are, whatever level they play in or whatever their club is, they should not be playing 4 games now. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. Suicidal when you think that the season starts again on August the 6th because of the World Cup in November. There should not be those games right now. We saw Lukaku for Belgium coming off injured. We saw Van Dijk finishing the game, but also having a little niggle. We saw Varane and Mbappes with the France game tonight. And this is just not acceptable, I think, if you're a player.
Do you agree, Stevie?
100%. I think it's ridiculous. And I think it makes it worse. You know, the argument that we had about the Nations League was the good thing we said about it was we don't have meaningless friendlies. But I think it makes it worse now at this time of the year when there's importance to the game. It completely changes the way you go about it. Instead of having a friendly and it being your 60th game of the season, which it is for the top guys, you can kind of take it easy. Not now. So, yeah, I'm with Jules. This is absolute nonsense. It's ridiculous. And again, nobody seems to care. And again, I'll say it. And I say it every time we talk about too many games. What's the Players' Union doing about this? Because at the end of the day, the Players' Union can turn around and say, we're not doing this. We don't care about your sponsorship. We don't care about losing a certain amount of money at this time of the year. The players have to be looked after. But right now, don't seem like anybody's trying to help.
And we call it meaningless friendlies, right? And that's sort of what we were trying to do away with Nations League. Well, this would be the ideal moment, the ideal situation to have a friendly that is not meaningless. And let me explain that for a second. You can actually bring in players that you usually don't bring with the national team, and it could be an evaluation process as Didier Deschamps and any of these managers are looking ahead to the World Cup. I know, and I have an idea as to what my 11 is going to be. I know, and I have an idea as to what the guys coming off the bench would be. But maybe I'm missing 3 or 4 pieces. Can I then evaluate those pieces now and give time to players that usually don't get that time? While I appreciate Karim Benzema being out there and representing his country and scoring a goal, he shouldn't be out there. Not after the season that he's had. He should be right now laying on the beach, having a piña colada, enjoying the off-season and preparing mentally and physically for what's ahead, which will be a big year for him with Real Madrid and certainly in the winter at the World Cup. Now he's having to play these games, and you just don't know how playing these 4 matches, and I'm not just singling out Karim Benzema, I'm saying all of these top players, what it will do and how it will hamper the preparation going into the season and how may that affect the start and beginning of the season. And if you start at the beginning of the season carrying an injury, guess what happens? Come time for the World Cup, you may just be carrying that injury as well. So it's a process that we only see what's happening now, but it may just affect what happens in the World Cup as well.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.